Hello there, everyone. Welcome to our small YouTube channel, the Hagbayon channel. Uh, Here I am, your host, Jason Chancoco. I am entrepreneur, businessman. I am a professor, college instructor. I am a writer. I have published my works in numerous publications, and I have been a panelist in various writing workshops in the Philippines, and I've been a fellow in various writing workshops in the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Um, I published in local and international journals and other publications. I've been active in the literary scene in the Philippines for quite a while, organizing lectures, performance, poetry events, and the likes. Um, I also have my own book already published by the Philippine government, the National Commission for Culture and the Arts (NCCA), as publisher of my first book, which is work on literary criticism, pagsasatubuanan, poetikang Bicolnon. I worked on that for 4 years, and I'm still working on the next, book project. But I have already compiled my poems, poetry for the next project. Well, I'm also into rock music. As a matter of fact, I'm a rock guitarist, a lead guitarist for my band, the Super Poet Genome Project. And also, I'm into Filipino martial arts and karate, martial arts stuff. I'm a martial arts enthusiast, and I'm into prepping, the outdoors, survivalism, etc. So that's why the content of this channel covers the above mentioned or the aforementioned topics. Like the topic for this particular session, which is the importance of land, the importance of real property during this pandemic. As you know very well, apparently, where I am, Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Southern Luzon, Bicol region, there is a resurgence or a surge of cases once again of COVID-19 disease. Despite the massive vaccination campaign of the government in its effort to actually uh, reach herd immunity as soon as possible, there is still increase in cases. And as we have said, the vaccine will only help us prevent severe disease, severe disease out of the infection. But we could still get infected, although it's not likely that we will be infected if we are vaccinated, according to the experts. But we still could get infected and could still infect other people, although the viral load will not be that much. So, to make the long story short, we're still at it. Of course, a lot of people are saying, including myself, that the government could have handled the matter better ever since, even last year. But what can we do? We elected these people, so we suffer. Okay, we better make a comeback this coming election. Well, this coming 2022 elections. So let's do our part, and I hope the elections won't be postponed. So that's the backdrop or the background of our topic, because as we said, the increase in cases made people realize that the cities are quite unsafe. There's now household transmission happening everywhere, local transmission, even in Camarines Sur, particularly Naga City. In fact, Naga City is now in modified ECQ, and I think the mayor there is still implementing a weekend lockdown, or a weekend ECQ, wherein only one member of the family can actually go out. Okay, and that member must be duly authorized and duly permitted by the barangay and by the city government to actually go out of uh, his or her house. For now, let's acknowledge the presence of Inupa Channel. Manay Inupa Channel, thanks for dropping by. And when I check her live stream, she's always live every night here in the Philippines, but she's based in South Korea. You wanna check? You might wanna check her live stream, and she has a group of friends, a group of vloggers joining her, and you might wanna check their channels as well. And but then, thanks for watching Bayon channel. When I upload this later, you might catch me when I'm no longer live. So there. Going back to our topic, we've been going around in circles. Um, Due to the increase in cases, people uh, realize that the cities may not be as safe as before, and because of that, many people are looking for a way out, looking for uh, a prospect of a new life in the provinces or in the rural areas, and it means actually acquiring real property in said areas. But as we said, the more important an item is, the more expensive it becomes as per law on supply and demand. So uh, that's what we're going to be talking about. Uh, because of the pandemic, land or real property has become, a prime commodity. It is a prime commodity, but more so in cases of pandemic. More and more people would want to escape the city, and actually go to rural areas and provinces to avoid the crowd, so to speak, and avoid the so-called local transmission in cities. So why is this? Why are people moving away from the cities? Okay, personally, what can you tell this channel? What can you share? You may wanna comment. And are you of the opinion that people ought to move away from the cities, etc., etc.? And you know very well that there was a Balik Probinsya program by Senator Bongo, and many people actually opposed it because it sort of brought COVID-19 cases in some areas here in the Philippines where there's actually none. So that's what happened last year, especially in Naga City. Uh, so there is a good side and bad side to it, going to the provinces. But the bottom line is it's very important to have a real property or a land uh, out of the cities, primarily because people are moving away from the cities because they want to get away from the transmission of the virus in cities, because apparently the pandemic is a disease of the cities, of airports, malls, etc., and of the cities. I'm not specifying any mall, but what I'm saying is places where people converge, including government offices, etc. So there's the rise of the online transactions as the primary mode of transaction. There, the importance of land during this pandemic, because people are moving away from the cities, and rich people, mind you, rich people are willing to pay even double the price of real property just to acquire land in the provinces or in the rural areas. So that's why lands. are becoming more expensive, and more people are willing to buy them, even if they are quite expensive at the moment. Law of supply and demand, as we said. One prepper, his name is Canadian Prepper. You might want to check his YouTube channel as well. Earlier said that one important resource during a pandemic or during a shit hits the fan situation is land, real property, bug out location, something like that. All right. Another thing related to our topic is that absentee landlords are now going back to their lands. So, after being in cities for a long, long time and being actually employed or doing business in cities, uh, these absentee landlords are now realizing that it's better to actually go back to their lands in the provinces or in the rural areas, bringing about conflict sometimes, conflict with usurpers, land grabbers. You know very well that if you, leave your land for a long time and do not tend to it or do not show your face in said area for a long time, people will think that they can actually just grab your land, especially if these people are not privy to the workings of our law on real property or on the civil code as per property law. So they think if you abandon or not really abandon, if you are not around, you know, they can, willfully, and in bad faith, just grab your land. The most convenient way is to actually just, you know, construct a building there or be a builder in bad faith or a planter or sower in bad faith. So that's the usual method of these people to actually force you to back off and to back off from your own land so they could become the owner of your land. So that's the usual mode and the return of the absentee landlords would also result to conflict with tenants. Tenants who have been used to not giving the proper, uh, proper allocation, allocation of the proceeds from the land. And here comes the landlord now. The landlord is back and now trying to demand some proceeds from the land. So right now, people, even governments, are looking into the so-called work from home method. But then, even if you work from home, you still have to go out. Go to the grocery or something like that, or to the market. So still, danger is still around if that is your situation. So there's the rise of the so-called uh, online economy, the online businesses. Okay, online businesses are thriving. Well, mind you, particularly where I am involved, blade building. There are so many online sellers already of swords and blades, particularly here in the Philippines. They actually, can ship your order online. Can ship your order via courier because, as a matter of fact, actually blades are allowed, you know, via courier because blades are actually allowed in airplanes. Just put them inside the package and don't bring them with you as hand carry. Put the swords or in the baggage, luggage. So not hand carry but luggage. Check-in luggage. So couriers are able to actually transport swords and artifacts, bladed artifacts all over the country and even abroad. So there. Yeah, that's for online businesses. However, farm life is still more ideal because work from home. while still surrounded by a rural area and rural and farm, surrounded by trees. So long as you have a car, or you have motorcycle or bicycle that you could use as a mode of transportation, all right, um, no problem. It would still be a good idea to the provinces or in the rural areas rather than working from home in the city. So, for example, you work from home, you are just like this friend of mine named Jack. Jack or Angelica is a prepper, and she lives in a rural area while working with BPO. So there, she gets paid and she gets to grow her own food. So no need to actually go to the grocery from time to time. And they own anyway. They own a vehicle. So that's one thing. That's how important land is right now, um, because it will, at least for the time being, it will, keep you away from the areas where uh, COVID-19 is on a rampage. So because of that, will be safer, and you will be healthier, and you could actually earn a living without getting exposed. Because the trick is to earn a living or do business without getting exposed. That's actually the idea. So, right, the importance of land during a pandemic. Well, people are moving away from the cities, making land more important, and rich people are willing to pay even double the price or triple the price, making land more expensive. And even absentee landlords are trying to go back to their lands. Of course, there will be conflict, usually resulting in conflict with the usurpers and some tenants. So that's it. The solution of the government is usually work from home, but still, even if the same is the case, you would still be, exposed if you are staying in a city, because of course you have to go out. You have to go to the marketplace or go to the groceries, go to the what else? To the pharmacy, and the problem now is the so-called household transmission. So better if you are working from home while in a farm. So if you're in a farm, you can produce your own food, minimize going out. So long as you have your mode of transport, like a car or a motorcycle or a bicycle at least. And there's something that we pointed out: the rise of online economy, which is what's happening right now. Even government transactions are now being done online. So that's our discussion for this particular session. Uh, we had a live session also the last night. Let's think of more topics. So, how about you? Are you more inclined to actually stay in a farm during the pandemic, or stay in a city? So kindly post your comment down below and try to engage in fruitful discourse and fruitful discussion, and so that people will be more informed and they can make better decisions or informed decisions. Jason here. This is Hagbayon channel. This is a channel devoted to current events, literature, rock music, martial arts, outdoors, prepping, survivalism, blades research. As a matter of fact, I was working on this particular trapper knife, trying to sharpen it and polish it. So there. See you next time. Remember, the pen is mightier with a sword.